Somewhere in this world, there is a door that leads to his dreams. A boy dressed as a girl caught a bouquet at a wedding. It was Sina Izumi, and 10 years have passed since then. During breakfast, his parents discussed the rapidly gaining popularity of actor Ikiju Ryoma. They are both celebrities as well as other members of his family. They want to enroll their son in vocal and dance lessons, but he runs away in terror. Izumi thinks that performing in front of people is not for him and dreams of becoming a mangaka. But it doesn't work out, and he spends most of the day reading at the school club. When he gets home, he is told that Happy Wedding magazine wants to reshoot an old commercial with the same actors in honor of their anniversary. Only this time Izumi, who caught the bouquet, will be the bride, and his groom will be the now popular Ryoma. It was his condition that the actors should be the same as 10 years ago. He doesn't know that Izumi isn't a girl. Izumi said he won't do it, and that he dreams of becoming a mangaka. The family manager said he's just a stupid otaku. Izumi didn't understand why no one wanted to believe in him. As it turned out, in the past, he accidentally got into a commercial. The boy had just come to his parents' filming, but since the actress' flight was cancelled, he was dressed up as a girl and put on the shoot. Izumi felt terrible shame then and does not want to repeat it. But he can't draw well, no matter how hard he tries. During the lesson, Izumi's brother ran into the classroom and dragged him outside. Xiaogo is a famous vocalist. Izumi guessed that the manager sent him and didn't want to talk to him. His brother didn't give up and said that if the guy would do a commercial, he would give him an exclusive alarm clock with the voice of his favorite character. Izumi immediately agreed. Ryoma was overjoyed when he found out that his conditions were met. He really wants to meet that girl again. Izumi tried and practiced drawing every day, and on the day of filming he was exhausted. But he was still dragged to the shoot and turned into a girl. The guy was really worried that someone would reveal his disguise. Ryoma came over and gave him flowers. The manager said the girl had nothing to do with their industry and was just a substitute actress. The filming was about to start, causing Izumi to shake a lot. When the first scene started, he immediately fell down. The guy started crying and remembered that last time everything worked out thanks to the talisman Ryoma had given him. He gave it to him again and Izumi calmed down. Izumi was running to school and ran into a girl. It was their newcomer Lalalulu. Classmates mocked the guy's desire to become a mangaka, but she supported him. After that they were attacked and she turned into a sorceress. She and Izumi almost kissed, but in reality he kissed not her. He pushed Ryoma and ran away. It was his first kiss. The manager didn't realize what happened since there was no kiss in the script. But since it was added, the scene needed to be finished. Xiaogo came to the rescue. He escaped from his job in London and flew to Tokyo. When he entered the room, he saw that his brother had turned into sister. At this time, his father told the manager that filming a commercial 10 years ago had traumatized the guy, and he had become very withdrawn. And as it turned out, it was the father who covered up the kissing scene to make it easier to talk his son down. Izumi kept crying as he wanted to give his first kiss to a girl wizard. Xiaogo said that if he pulled himself together, he would give him an exclusive Dakamakura. The guy had no choice and agreed to continue filming. As it turned out, Ryoma persuaded the producer to remove the kissing scene as he didn't want to force an innocent girl to do it. It worked out perfectly this time. Izumi apologized for causing trouble and said that Ryoma made filming fun. The guy wanted to say something to him, but everyone wanted his autograph and chaos ensued. Izumi got lost and his leg was hurting. He remembered that he forgot to return the talisman. Ryoma came running to him, said he didn't need the talisman anymore and confessed his love to the girl. Izumi wanted to tell him the truth, but Xiaogo intervened. He said he wouldn't give up his little brother so easily. Ryoma was shocked to find out that he had been in love with the boy all along. He got angry, called Izumi names and left. Turns out he wasn't as nice as he seemed. But Izumi didn't care. He was happy about his reward. Izumi has stopped getting enough sleep as he draws manga all night long. The housekeeper found the lucky charm which the guy forgot to return to the owner. After the last time, there was a crack on it. Izumi dropped it one more time and the ball almost fell apart. He asked the manager to apologize to Ryoma, but Ray convinced him that it would be better to do the mature thing and apologize in person. He also said to just find a similar ball and pretend it didn't happen. Ryoma had a dream about Izumi. It was a nightmare. Izumi, meanwhile, had never been able to find a suitable replacement for the ball. Commercials with him are still airing. Luckily, no one ever found out the girl was him. Izumi's drawings are just as bad. He decided to secretly enter a contest to surprise everyone by winning. Ryoma came to the set. He has the role of a detective. His character followed the suspect who returned home to his daughter. Ryoma was playing well, but suddenly hit his head on a pole. During the second take, it happened again. The problem is that he keeps thinking about Izumi, even though he found out he's not a girl. Izumi's parents are going to a party. Ryoma came to them and told that he forgot to take his talisman from their son. Since Izumi was still in school, they offered to wait at their house. The manager tried to talk them out, but it didn't work. He called the guy and told him what happened. Izumi didn't know what to do. Ryoma really lied about the talisman. He just wants to see the guy one more time to get rid of the feelings. Izumi came and immediately apologized for breaking the talisman. Ryoma couldn't believe that the bespectacled weeb was Izumi, but seeing him without glasses still gave him butterflies in his stomach. He took the desperate step of asking the guy to strip to make sure he wasn't a girl. Izumi didn't like the idea, but Ryoma plopped him on the bed. After that, he gave in to his feelings and started to do all sorts of things. Izumi was saved by his older brother. Ryoma woke up and thought it was a dream, but it wasn't. The manager noticed that Izumi hadn't left his room in days. Xiaogo told him everything that had happened. Rei was starting to feel guilty since he let the guy into the house. Xiaogo is very angry that Ryoma did this to his little brother. They're doing a show together tomorrow. The manager asked the guy not to put up a fight. Ryoma came to the set very depressed. He cried and rushed to hug Ryoma. Izumi continued to lie in bed. Xiaogo and Ryoma were invited to judge a talent show. Xiaogo wants to avenge his brother, but seeing the guy's condition, he doesn't know what to do. The manager decides it's time to get Izumi out of the room. The guy still can't recover from what Ryoma did to him. Rei tells him that exams are coming up, and if he keeps missing classes, he'll be in trouble. Izumi told him that he would stay for a second year. The manager burst into his room and told him that he couldn't say that because his parents are paying for his studies. He also said that he too had been taken to bed by a guy once, and that Izumi shouldn't whine about it. Especially Ryoma didn't have time to follow through. Izumi asked if it was normal that his body liked what happened, and Rei said it was absolutely normal. Izumi was happy to hear that and went to school. Xiaogo called Rei and asked where his brother. At the school, Izumi saw that the guys were waiting for him. Ryoma wanted to say something, but the guy ran away. A chase ensued. The otaku's stamina was at its limit, and he was blocked by sumo wrestlers. Izumi thought Ryoma was going to attack him again, but the guy fell to his knees and apologized for what happened. After that, he wanted to declare his love to Izumi, but decided he needed to prepare himself. Rei came to get Xiaogo and asked what happened. The guy told him that he overheard Ryoma talking and found out that he wanted to apologize. At first, Xiaogo thought that the actor just wanted to get rid of his conscience, but it was actually worse than that. The guy was desperate and Ryoma decided to help him meet Izumi. Right now, he has no idea where his brother is. The manager feared something like this, so he planted a bug in Izumi's bag. The guy was in a trendy neighborhood for some reason. Ryoma took him around the stores and salons. It was all part of the preparation. At the end, he took off his glasses and suggested they go out to eat. Izumi started to think the guy was trying to kidnap him, but he couldn't refuse the offer to eat pancakes. Ryoma talked about how hard it was to become famous and how he hates girls' favorites like Xiaogo. The manager spotted them and turned on the wire. Ryoma said that Izumi helped him through the tough times. That talisman reminded him of the guy's eyes and his radiant smile. And even after learning that Izumi wasn't a girl, his feelings didn't go away. He tried to get rid of them that time, but it didn't work, so he doesn't care about anything anymore. He confessed that he is in love with Izumi. Thinking about it, Izumi felt sorry for the guy. Ryoma said he didn't want to date, he just wants to be friends. Izumi felt a little guilty, and the guy had bought him a pancake, so he agreed to be friends. But just chat friends to begin with. The manager saw that someone took a photo of them. Izumi continues to draw terribly. Suddenly he got a call that his manga had won a contest. He quickly became a famous artist, but it was just a dream. His classmate guessed that the guy had been staying up nights to submit his manga to the contest. Izumi wanted to keep it a secret, but as it turned out, every time he fell asleep in class, he started mumbling about it. When he looked at his phone, he saw a lot of messages. Ryoma had been bothering him for days, and his attempts to ignore them had led to Ryoma texting his family. Izumi regretted giving him his email. From the messages, it turned out that the guy had entered his university. He was waiting for him in the manga club room. Izumi took him by the arm and dragged away, then told him to leave, as he might cause a crowd to gather and interfere with the club's activities. Ryoma fell to his knees and started apologizing. This attracted a lot of attention. Izumi relented and brought him to the club. Ryoma immediately made one of the club members move to be closer to Izumi. He was very surprised when he found out that the guy drew manga and expressed his admiration. Izumi immediately decided to show him his drawings. Ryoma was horrified, but thought it was modern art and said that he liked it. Izumi immediately changed his opinion of Ryoma and thought he was a great person. Suddenly, the celebrity got a call from someone and ran away. Izumi was very happy that his manga had its first fan. There are 2 days left before the contest. Izumi won't be able to finish in time. He decided to ask for help, but everyone was busy. Ryoma has tomorrow off, and in desperation, the guy decides to ask him for help. Now he's not just the first fan of his manga, he's also the first assistant. They labored all night. In the morning, breakfast was brought to them. The maid was shocked to see such a handsome guy in Izumi's room. The two of them managed to finish the manga on time, but Izumi fainted due to fatigue. Ryoma put him on the bed and tried to restrain himself, but it didn't work and he kissed the guy. When Izumi didn't wake up, he wanted to kiss him again, but got an unexpected phone call. As it turned out, the agency had been looking for him all day. Ryoma resigned and was about to leave, but decided he couldn't miss the chance. He kissed Izumi again, and then again, and many more times. At that time, the head of the agency was waiting for him with the photos on the desk. Rei came home and was told that Izumi had a friend over for the first time in his life. He was happy to hear that, but he didn't expect to see Ryoma. The man immediately ran to the boys' room and his worst assumptions were confirmed. Izumi had gotten the star to help with the nasty manga, but he was still glad someone was able to befriend the closeted Izumi. Ryoma arrived at the agency and the head immediately started yelling at him. He then showed him the photos and said that the press was getting ready to publish the photos and write about their relationship. Ryoma said they were just friends, but the head didn't believe him. He wanted to say that Izumi is not a girl, but he decided to ask Rei if it was okay to talk about it first. The morning came. Izumi was very proud of the work he had done with Ryoma. The manager met him at the exit and said that his debut in showbiz would be announced this Saturday. This is to prevent a scandal. They will reveal that Izumi is a guy and announce the start of his acting career to divert people's attention from the photos. Izumi doesn't like the idea. He's willing to reveal his gender so Ryoma won't have a problem, but is only willing to debut as a mangaka. Rei decided to make a bet. If the publisher accepts the manga, he will give up. Otherwise, Izumi must agree to debut in showbiz. The guy was confident in his work and agreed. But alas, the publisher told him that he has no talent for drawing and no future in this field. Izumi was devastated and didn't know what to do. Rei noticed that the guy was late and started to regret his words. Izumi texted him that he is going on a trip and asked not to look for him. Ryoma regretted the photo situation and the trouble he had caused Izumi. Rei called him and told what had happened. Ryoma was going to go look for Izumi, but the guy came to his house. Ryoma immediately noticed a strange smell and Izumi told him that he had fallen into the garbage. The guy sent him to the bathroom. He didn't understand what could have happened, and when Izumi didn't answer for a long time, he ran into the bathroom. The guy fell asleep and started to drown. Ryoma tried to pull him out and Izumi woke up. Sleepy and depressed, he completely forgot about decorum. Since Ryoma didn't have any new underwear, he went to bed without it. Ryoma was shocked and couldn't understand what was going on. Rei stayed up all night. Since the guy had left his papers at home, the manager suspected that he might have stayed sleeping at his only friend's house, but Ryoma didn't tell him anything. The guy at this time had already made breakfast, but Izumi didn't want to get out of bed. He cheered up only after a cup of coffee and told about being rudely rejected by the publisher. Ryoma let him stay at his house until he got everything sorted out, but he had to inform his family. Izumi refused and said he would become part of Ryoma's family. The guy couldn't stand it, and reminded that he loves him and wouldn't be able to help himself if he said those things and lived at his house. Izumi didn't mind. But during the process he started crying, so Ryoma stopped. He decided Izumi wasn't taking his feelings seriously. Izumi didn't understand anything. Ryoma immediately regretted what he did because it might have been his only chance. As he left for work, he noticed an envelope with a manga inside. Rei was extremely worried since Izumi hadn't contacted him for a long time. He hadn't slept for 60 hours. He told Izumi's parents that their son was staying over at a friend's place. In the evening, he planned to go to the police. Izumi gave up on his dream of becoming a manga artist and sank into the darkness. But then Lalalulu came to help him. Izumi woke up in the evening and found the breakfast Ryoma had left for him. He started crying, realizing he never thought about Ryoma's feelings and had been hurting him. He decided to stop taking advantage of him and go home. His phone had over 100 sweet messages from Rei, and he cried again. Ryoma came home and gave him a gift. He had asked the author of Lalalulu to leave a review on Izumi's manga. The author said his skills still needed work, but felt his passion through the drawings and encouraged him. That meant the world to Izumi. Ryoma also shared that he struggled a lot when he first started in show business, but the most important thing was not giving up. Izumi promised to work even harder and also decided to try show business to expand his horizons, just as the author of Lalalulu had recommended. Rei was overjoyed that Izumi had returned, but he almost immediately passed out from exhaustion. Before leaving, Izumi thanked Ryoma for everything and said he is like a brother to him. Ryoma didn't like that. He kissed Izumi and told him he would never be his brother. Left alone, Izumi realized that he seemed to have fallen in love. Izumi was overwhelmed by the feelings he had developed for Ryoma. He kept trying to convince himself it was all just a mistake, but nothing made sense anymore. His parents were overjoyed that he had finally chosen to debut in show business, though Izumi himself had already started to doubt whether he made the right decision. Shogo had always loved his younger brother and spoiled him a lot when they were kids. Their parents believed that was the reason Izumi turned out so closed off, and Rei shared the same opinion. But Xiaogo thought the manager was also partly to blame.
I bought you that one cake you really like from La Palette.
Hooray!
The day of Izumi's debut was approaching. Rei wanted to be the host of the event, hoping it would help Izumi feel more at ease. The head of Ryoma's agency admired Rei's professionalism and even invited him to join their company. But Rei declined, remembering how Izumi's father had helped him when he had nothing. On the day of the debut, rumors were spreading throughout the city. People believed Ryoma had a girlfriend and expected an announcement about their upcoming wedding. Izumi couldn't handle the pressure and was too scared to even step outside. Rei was ready to break the door down, but after receiving a message from Ryoma, Izumi came out by himself. They ended up running a bit late, but still had time. Izumi got his hair styled and was dressed in a gown. Xiaogo and Ryoma decided to set their differences aside, at least for the day. But when Izumi saw the crowd, he started trembling again. Ryoma gave him a calming kiss. Izumi got annoyed, but noticed the shaking had stopped. Ryoma walked on stage and brought Izumi out with him. He explained that they were just friends, though the audience didn't seem to believe it. Izumi then removed his wig and dress, revealing that he was actually a boy. Xiaogo stepped onto the stage shortly after and let everyone know that Izumi was his younger brother. The news about the debut of a boy from a celebrity family quickly pushed aside all the rumors that had been hurting Ryoma's reputation. At first, Ryoma was happy about this, but soon jealousy crept in. Everyone could now see how cute Izumi was, and it started to feel like the whole world had become his rival. Rei began receiving non-stop calls with offers for Izumi to appear in various projects. After the press conference, Izumi isolated himself and started ordering everything connected to Ryoma. Rei discovered this after opening one of the packages and realized Izumi had fallen in love. He said he had no problem if they started dating.
I believe that Ryoma is a good man.
He also believed that a relationship with someone that popular could be very helpful. At the same time, Ryoma was having a hard time concentrating on his work. He felt like everyone around him wanted to steal Izumi away. He still did not know about Izumi's feelings and thought of him only as a friend. Izumi suddenly showed up because Rei had brought him to meet the film crew. Everyone surrounded him and showered him with compliments. Ryoma could not handle it and dragged him away from the group. He asked Izumi not to let others touch him and wanted to know what he really felt. Without waiting for a reply, he admitted that he was afraid of losing him and tried to kiss him. But he collapsed before he could. Ryoma was taken to the hospital. Doctors said it was caused by exhaustion. Izumi was worried that he was the reason this happened. He began ordering lots of boys' love manga to prepare himself for being closer to Ryoma. But he still could not find the answer to one question. Would it hurt to do that with a guy?
Please, tell me.
Rei explained that it depends on experience, age, and size. With Ryoma, it would probably be a little painful. Izumi became stressed again. But the manager told him that Ryoma was being discharged from the hospital today and gave him back his good luck charm. Everyone thought he would go visit the one he cared about. Instead, he went to meet up with his friends. He wanted to figure out his feelings before seeing Ryoma again. While walking through the city, people started recognizing him because his glasses were broken. He had to run away. One of his friends saw what happened. Izumi ended up hiding at a construction site. Some gang members spotted him and decided to check if he was actually a boy or a girl. Izumi got caught and they found out he was a guy. At first they were disappointed, but then they decided they could still have some fun with him. Izumi felt really disgusted and realized that the only touch he could stand was Ryuma's. He couldn't let anyone else get close to him like that and managed to escape. Outside, he ran into a friend and asked for help. When they were alone, the guy told him that he became an assistant for the author of Lalaloolu. Ryoma had visited them bringing Izumi's manga and begging to read it.
I'm begging you!
After hearing that Izumi could no longer call what they had with Ryoma just a friendship, and even the word love didn't feel strong enough for what he felt, he knew he had to see Ryoma right away and ran off. His friend gave him his glasses so no one in the crowd would recognize him again. Izumi's mom is worried if her son can handle the world of showbiz, but his dad believes he'll become a great actor. Ryoma feels like he messed up their friendship with something he said. Since that day, Izumi hasn't reached out and Ryuma's been too afraid to message him. Just when he finally decided to do it, Izumi showed up at his door. Ryoma thought he looked mad, but as soon as he opened the door, Izumi hugged him tight and kissed him right away. He wanted to get really close, but Ryoma was confused and stopped him. Izumi said he wanted to go all the way and Ryoma pulled him onto the bed. They kissed. Both of them were nervous, but in the end they went through with it. I've uploaded the process to my Patreon. Xiaogo had a really bad feeling and called his brother, but Izumi didn't answer. Rei tracked his location and figured everything out. He told Xiaogo that Izumi was just with a friend. In the end, Izumi was in pain and couldn't really move. Ryoma asked if he only did it with him out of pity. At first, Izumi got mad, but then realized he rushed things and hadn't even told Ryoma how he felt. So he said he did it because he loves him. Ryoma started crying and told him he loves him too.
It seriously hurt. Not just a little, a lot.